So they're finally here. Google has launched AI Overviews, previously known as SGE, live to US audience, and it's coming to another 1 billion users before the end of this year. This is one of the biggest changes to search and SEO in the last 2 decades. So of course, many businesses and marketers are thinking, how on earth do we get our website ranking in this new AI Overviews section? Well, here at Exposure Ninja, we've been playing with this technology for a year now while it was in testing mode before it was fully launched. And we were one of the first agencies to figure out how to rank in it and the first agency to share that process publicly. But the version of AI Overviews that Google has actually launched has some important differences. So in this video, we're going to explain exactly what AI Overviews is, how it works, and most importantly, how to get your website content ranking in this brand new search engine. Now, if you already know about AI Overviews, then you can skip this next section and we'll just go straight into ranking. But if you want to learn about the important differences between AI Overviews and SGE, which is what this thing used to be called, then listen on. So first up, what are AI Overviews? Well, when you do a search on Google, if you are in one of the countries that Google is showing AI Overviews, you will now see this AI generated section at the top of the page. Now you've got a little show more thing which you can toggle, which shows you more detail, and then you've got the rest of the regular organic search results below that. Now these AI overviews are snippets of text with links to websites that corroborate the information in this text. And Google's official position is that this text is generated by Google's large language model, Gemini, and then these websites simply back up the information that the LLM is generating. I don't believe that for a second, but we'll come back to that later. You'll see that under each paragraph, we've got a few websites that you can see by clicking this little drop-down icon. These websites are the ones that corroborate the information in that paragraph. And now, of course, you can see why marketers are so invested in this AI Overviews thing, because if Google is just showing information in the search results, what incentive is there for someone to go and click on a website link to find out more? And what happens if you're ranking in the regular organic results, but you're not even showing in these AI Overviews section? Are you going to lose a lot of your traffic? Possibly. Now, before we go into what you need to do to get ranking in this AI Overview section, let's just talk about some of the types of search that are bringing up these AI Overviews. So generally speaking, it's informational queries that are bringing up these searches. Things like this search, which is sponsored tags, which is obviously an informational search. And you'll notice it's often questions that start what, how, when, why, which bring up these AI overviews. In fact, here's an interesting comparison for you. If you search flat feet running shoes, you get an ordinary Google results page at the time of filming this. You've got product listing ads at the top here, then you've got some organic results down below. If you search for what are the best running shoes for flat feet, however, you get an AI overview result. Now, this is a kind of interesting result because when this was in SGE labs, when they were testing this type of search would have brought up actual product suggestions, and you would have been able to click through and go to those products. Now, Google is going to be testing running product listing ads actually in these AI overview results. So I suspect that we'll see that coming soon. But what happens right now if you do this search is you'll get this article from Runner's World, which actually just lists some of these products. Now, one of the big differences between AI Overviews as it has been launched and SGE when it was in testing mode is that Google has really reduced the number of searches that these AI Overviews are showing for. In particular, I've noticed Google being much less willing to show AI Overviews for financial type searches. So how to fill out a mortgage application, for example. When it was in testing mode, this brought up an SGE result. We managed to get our client ranking at the top of that. Well, now that AI Overviews has been launched, this search doesn't bring up an AI overview at all. And in fact, for many types of financial searches, Google seems to be being much more cautious about showing these AI results. Another type of search that isn't bringing up AI overviews but used to bring up SGE results is local searches. So for example, best personal injury lawyers McAllen, we got our client ranking at the top of Google Maps here, and when this was in testing mode, this query brought up an SGE response which also listed these same businesses in the same order. Well, with AI overviews, there is no answer to this query. Interestingly though, Google is not shying away from producing AI overviews for medical or health related queries. For example, should you eat yellow snow? Google will happily answer that question. Another key difference between AI overviews as it has launched and SGE as it was in testing is that you can't ask follow-up questions. So in SGE, there were little buttons here that you could click to ask common follow-up questions, or you could type in your own follow-up question to talk to Google about the results and to get more information. Well, in AI overviews as it stands now, that functionality is not enabled. So whether we'll see Google expand AI overviews capabilities to make them more in line with the SGE that they were testing before, we don't know. But some of the tips in this video are going to help you prepare in case Google does roll out this additional functionality as it continues to test and get feedback about these AI overviews. Okay, so how do you use AI overviews to get more traffic, more visibility, and more business? That's really what we're here for, right? Well, the first way is to get your website listed as one of the corroborating sources. If we look at this query here, what are page titles? You'll see that we've got an AI overviews answer to this question. Now, the websites that corroborate the first sentence of this query are open here. And in fact, above the fold on this page on desktop, there are only 3 websites visible. Exposure Ninja is the first one. If a user decides that they want more context and more information, they might click on one of these tiles and come through to our website. This is the first and most obvious way to win using AI overviews. Get your website linked here. The second way to win in Google AI overviews is to have it actually recommend your business, your products, or your services. Let's say, for example, that you are selling one of the running shoes that is linked in this Runner's World article. Well, you've not only got visibility on the Runner's World article page, you've also now got visibility in the main search results. The Brooks Adrenaline GTS 23 is being shown as the best overall running shoe for flat feet. For someone who hasn't even been on a website yet, it's just being shown in the search results. Now that's obviously a fantastic result, and this is going to be one of the key battlegrounds for marketers over the coming years to get their business, products and services actually recommended inside the search result like this. Okay, so how do you get your website ranked in these AI overviews? Well, the first step is to start from a strong base. It really helps if you're already ranking prominently for the search. For example, this search, what are page titles, we'll see there are 3 websites listed: Exposure Ninja, Campaign Monitor, and Active Campaign. Now, if we look down at the regular organic results, we'll see Active Campaign has the featured snippet at the moment, Exposure Ninja is there, and Campaign Monitor is there. So all 3 of these corroborating websites are in the first 4 results of the regular organic search. So it really helps to be visible if you want to pick up some AI visibility. Now, of course, that's not to say that just because you are ranking in regular organic search, you're going to be in the AI overviews by default. That is simply not the case. For example, just because Active Campaign has the featured snippet here, for example, Exposure Ninja is ranking first in the AI overview, but it's Active Campaign that had the featured snippet in the regular organic results. We've essentially leapfrogged them to be first ranked in the AI overviews. In this search for Shein marketing strategy, you'll see that Daxu, Exposure Ninja, and ResearchGate are the top 3 results. Well, Daxu, great. Marketing China is nowhere to be seen in this generative AI snippet, as is the Shein website itself. So although these 2 websites are ranking prominently in the organics, they're nowhere in the AI overview. Of course, to get ranking in the regular organic results, you need to do all the standard SEO stuff. You need to optimize your content, including your page titles and your metas. You need to have a fast site that is easily accessible. You need to have good user metrics. You need to have a good link profile. You need to have good engagement stats. We've got a whole bunch of content about how to rank on Google, but you also need to make some very specific adjustments and optimizations for the AI overviews. We've found that, similar to regular organic results, if you want to rank for a particular AI overview search, it really helps to have content that very narrowly matches that search topic, and that actually an exact match relevance can often outweigh a higher authority piece of content that's more generalist on another website. For example, this search, where is Tim Cameron Kitchen based? The blog post that I wrote to target this search to try and get ranking in AI overviews is incredibly short and it's incredibly rubbish. But because it is highly relevant on this topic, Google has chosen to feature it as the first link in AI overviews. In some ways, this goes against the content trend over the last few years, where it's very much been about writing the ultimate guide to XYZ, where you have a 2,000, 3,000 word monster blog that covers your topics in every tiny little bit of detail. Well, what AI Overviews actually seems to prefer is shorter and more targeted posts that are laser focused on specific queries. The next step in optimizing your content for AI Overviews is to make sure that you're summarizing the answer to the question in as few sentences as possible in very high readability language. Let me show you an example. So in this search here, best fungicides for lawns, we optimized one of our clients' existing pieces of content to rank for this search. And we did this because we noticed that the websites that Google was linking to in the AI Overviews answer, they highlighted the text that was being scraped with that attribution. The text that was corroborating Google's answer was highlighted in purple. Now this text tended to appear towards the top of the page, and it tended to be very straightforward, plain language with simple sentence structure. So what we decided to do is summarize the article right at the top of the page in that same simple sentence structure. Lo and behold, within 5 hours, this piece of content that hadn't been ranking in the AI Overviews section was ranking position 1 in the AI Overviews. This is now an approach that we take by default with our new content. For example, the Exposure Ninja page, what are page titles and meta descriptions, you can see the text that the AI Overviews is scraping and republishing without proper attribution on the search results page. You can see the text that is corroborating the information that the AI Overview was already publishing. Of course, your goal as a marketer is to get featured in the first paragraph here. You want to be featured in the first set of links, because whilst you might be able to get featured in the 5th or 6th pile of links, the chances of someone going all the way down there to click on your website if they want more information should be pretty low. So we really want to get featured around the first set of links, because these are open by default when the AI Overviews page loads. So of course, you want to make sure that your content is covering the topics focused on in this first paragraph. Now we're going to come back to this in a minute. Now once you've made these changes to your page, it's really important that you go into Google Search Console and you request indexing of this page. So you do this by just typing in your URL at the top of Search Console and click request indexing. And we found this to be a really important step. AI Overviews seem to refresh fairly quickly, and in many cases, we've been able to get a page ranking in AI Overviews within a matter of 5 to 12 hours from making the changes and submitting in Search Console. But if you don't request re-indexing on Search Console, those changes can take much longer to filter through into any AI Overviews ranking. Now, in some cases, you will optimize your page for AI Overviews. You'll think, right, I've written a fantastic summary intro paragraph, I've submitted it to Google Search Console, and I've waited, but I'm still not ranking in AI Overviews. What you might need to do in those cases is go back to AI Overviews, reread this opening paragraph, and have another go at optimizing your content to corroborate that information, i.e. give Google something to scrape. We found in a number of cases that actually you have to continue re-optimizing content until you find something that Google actually wants to reference. The other thing to note on this point is that AI Overviews answers can change. They seem to be a lot more dynamic than search results, which means that sometimes you'll go back to an AI Overviews answer that you're ranking for, and you'll notice that that entire answer has completely changed. You might then need to go back to your content, re-optimize for what the AI Overviews answer is now, submit, and follow the same process. Yes, this is annoying, but it's also a massive opportunity for you to steal some ranking over competitors that don't keep up with these changes as frequently. As you can see, AI Overviews can be fairly simple to rank for if you know what you're doing and you already have some content that's ranking prominently. Google's official line on the websites that it's linking to are that they are receiving more clicks than they would be if they were showing in just the regular organic results. Whether or not this is true, we will probably never find out, because the clicks that we are going to be getting from AI Overviews won't be split out in a separate area in Google Search Console. Google's just going to lump all of the traffic that you get from organic search into the same place, so we won't know how many of these clicks come from AI Overviews versus regular organic results. What about the future of AI Overviews? Well, I think this is quite difficult to predict. On the one hand, you could see that Google has invested a lot of time and credibility and money in building this technology. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google and Alphabet, has been very public that he thinks that this is the future of search and this is where Google is going. So there is a lot of reputation at stake to make AI overviews very common and visible across Google search results. The other elephant in the room is the fact that Google AI overviews are essentially copying and pasting text from underlying publisher websites. And they're not really attributing this properly in as far as they're not saying this text comes from this website. They're saying this text is ours. And by the way, here are some other websites that you can visit. Now, Google has been very careful not to say that the AI overviews cite or reference these websites that they're linking to. Instead, they've always described the websites as corroborating the AI answer. Well, I don't think that's the case at all. There are numerous tests that we've conducted which show that Google is using text word for word from the underlying websites. Whether there is some sort of legal challenge that comes as a result of this, particularly if the amount of organic traffic being passed to publishers drops, is a question for another video and probably another channel. But as a marketer, I'm just looking at this tool and saying, what can we do to get our clients more traffic, more leads, and more sales today? And that means optimizing their content to get showing in these AI overviews. As long as these AI overviews are here, they're going to be getting traffic and they're going to be getting eyeballs. So we need to make sure that it's your website showing in those AI overview links rather than your competitors. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about AI overviews, and are you excited for this new technology, or are you a little bit scared about what might happen to your organic traffic? Now, Google launching AI overviews is actually only the first step in a massive plan to overhaul search results. Check out this video where I break down some of the other announcements that Google put out around the same time.